Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. So I've got all of your packages ready to go out. I'm ready to mail everything out to you guys for Bio 226 or Anatomy and Phys 2. And I realized I need to make a video to show you how to use some of the equipment because I'm sending everything out to you. So I only had a certain amount of certain things, and so you're getting all of those things. So I wanted to kind of do a quick demo on how to use some of the equipment. That way, when you get to those particular labs, you'll be able to know what you're doing, right? So I'm going to start with the Reflex hammer. You'll use this in the nervous system lab, which is our second lab. And you'll be doing this on someone else. You can't really do it on yourself. I don't have anyone here to kind of demo with, but I'll kind of show you how to use it. Again, you probably use something like this at a doctor's office, but you've got your Reflex hammer here, and you're going to try and find that reflex associated with a couple different joints. So again, that's what your Reflex hammer is there for. You can also use it when we do our sensory lab to create sound, okay? So you're going to, and again, I think I gave you a YouTube video on how to use the tuning fork, but you can hit the tuning fork with your hammer in order to conduct sound. You could also hit it on the side of a table or something else like that as well. So you can use it for both if you want, or just for that nervous system lab. Let's see, what else do you need to know how to use? Blood glucose. So this is part of our lab on digestion and metabolism, and only a couple of you are participating in that. But again, I wanted to kind of go over how to do that blood draw. Again, you might already know that, but I just want to make sure we're covering our bases. So if you are a subject, you'll find a little package that looks like this in your box, okay? Everything you need for the blood draw is in here, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna first take an alcohol swab. You need a gauze pad. This is your glucometer, so this is what we're gonna use to measure blood glucose levels. Again, you're gonna measure it at 4 different time points. You're gonna measure it fasted. I think it's like 30 minutes post-meal, 60 minutes post-meal, and then 90 minutes post-meal, I think. This is off the top of my head. So this is what's gonna measure your glucose. You'll also find a finger prick and then a bunch of these little blue things, okay? Because you're doing your own blood, you can keep the same needle in if you want. If you want to change it out, that's fine, but it's your own blood and you're going to be the only one touching it. So you can probably just use one needle for all 4 pricks, okay? I would, however, use a new alcohol swab and a new gauze pad for each finger prick that you do, okay? So I'm going to show you how to use this. I also gave you, there should be a little circle thing within your package, and that's an extra set of glucose strips. If you see this button here, you're going to press here and open up, and I think there is a thing already in each of yours, but there's an extra one in case you need it. So anyway, this just kind of fits inside here like this. You're going to close the lid, make sure it clicks. I checked the batteries on them, so they should be good there. You're going to turn it on. It's going to show you this screen again. Everything should be good to go there. Okay. So in order to get a strip ready, you're going to pull this down and push this up. And now you're going to wait until until your drop of blood comes up and it's ready to go. Okay. So now I'm going to get my finger prick. So first thing I'm going to do is take my alcohol and I'm going to clean off the surface. Again, wash your hands before you do this additionally, but so I'm going to clean off the surface there. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is load up my lancet. So the little blue thing goes in there. You just twist the top off of it. Okay. Now I'm going to put this back on. On the lancet, it shows you different sizes of blood drops. Go to the largest size. Okay. So then in order to get the needle to work, you're gonna pull back on this and that'll cock it. And then you press this blue button and that shoots the needle forward, okay? So I'm gonna pull this back. You gotta press pretty hard on your finger in order to get a good prick. Press the button. Again, I got a little drop of blood. So what you wanna use your gauze pad for is to wipe off that first drop of blood, okay? So I'm gonna wipe off that first drop of blood. Then I wanna get like a pretty good amount of blood on my finger. I know it's hard to see, but you want a little pool of blood on that finger, and that makes it easier for you to collect on this little strip. So on the little strip, you're just gonna put your finger up next to it and the blood will slide in there. Then you'll see a countdown on your thing, okay? So then it'll read a number for you. Mine's 112 milligrams per deciliter, okay? So once you're done with that, then use your gauze pad to clean up that finger, okay? If you get an error on there, if it doesn't give you a number, okay, if it might say like E3 or E4 or something like that, then you got to redo it, okay? That means you didn't get enough blood on that little strip. And again, if you're kind of looking here at the edge, it'll suck that blood right up. Sorry, my camera isn't super high quality. It'll suck that blood right up as long as you have enough blood on your finger, okay? So get a nice big drop before you try to get it sucked up onto that strip, okay? So then when you're done with that, again, ready for my next one, I'm gonna pull this out and push forward. That'll eject this one and put out a new strip. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to waste another strip. But again, that's what you're going to do. When you're done, just hit the off button. Okay. Again, this is all your own blood. I didn't give you biohazard bags. You can just throw these out at your house or whatever. Shouldn't be any issues there. Okay. Let me get my blood out of there. Get my finger wiped off a little bit better. Okay, so that's the metabolism. That's the how to measure your blood glucose. There we go. Okay, when you're done, take your needle out, use your cap, put the cap back on it, and then get rid of it, okay? Now, when you give me your stuff back, make sure you got rid of your dirty needle, okay? So you got to take that out, and then when you return it, you can return it like this. If you get blood on anything, use some of those alcohol swabs I gave you to wipe it off, okay? So make sure it's sanitary, and then keep anything that's non-disposable in your little black pouch, okay? All right, that's blood glucose. Heart rate monitors is the next thing I want to show you. I have like a really mixed bag of heart rate monitors. So a couple of you are getting one thing, a couple of you are getting another. So I'm going to show you how to use each of the different types of heart rate monitors that I have, right? So, okay, first one I'll show you. Haley has a chest strap heart rate. I am giving you two different monitors. I think they're both charged, but basically I'm not 100% sure if they're charged, so that's why I gave you two. And you have a strap. So you're gonna put the strap under your like sports bra, and it should kind of go right here. The strap needs to be wet. Okay, so you're gonna wanna get a little bit of water on here in order for it to read. Okay, so get a little water on there. Connect this, it just snaps right on the front, okay? Has to be against your skin surface, as I said. These Polar heart rate monitors will link to an app on your phone called Polar Beat, okay? So you're gonna wanna download Polar Beat, it's free. Then you're gonna go to sync heart rate monitor, and you'll be able to sync this. So, but it has to be hooked up to you in order for it to come up as an option to sync with it, if that makes sense. So it has to be like activated in order for you to sync it, okay? Then you can hit start activity or something along those lines, and it'll read your heart rate for you, and it'll record it as well, okay? So that's the chest strap heart rate monitors. Okay, I have a couple of these armband heart rate monitors as well, okay? So I'm sending them to you. They're already hooked into their charger, okay? So this little thing that comes with it is a charger. You can plug this right into your computer. It'll get charged up, okay? You wanna wait until the light is green, and that tells you that it's charged, okay? Once it's charged, you're gonna take it off of the charger, and it's gonna go in this little guy, okay? So the circular looking side is gonna go out, like towards your skin, if that makes sense. Okay, so this part goes out, and I'm gonna put it on my arm somewhere. Again, like right there is probably a good spot. It's gotta be pressed pretty good against your skin in order for it to read. I put it above my elbow. I've seen some people put it below their elbow too, okay? How do I read what's on this heart rate monitor? You're gonna download an app called Polar Flow, okay? And again, you have to have it on in order for it to sync with your phone, okay? So you're going to put it on, get the app downloaded, sync the heart rate monitor, and then you're good to go, okay? And then, let's see. I better put this back so I don't forget who gets it. Okay. And then the last heart rate monitor that I have is super easy to use. It's a Fitbit. So here's your Fitbit. Here's the charger for it. Super easy. So you're gonna plug it into the back of the Fitbit. I've had these for like forever. And then plug it into your computer to get it charged. Okay, once it's charged, you're gonna put it on your wrist. It's gotta be tight on your wrist, okay? So the tighter it is, and again, wear it up a little higher, like don't put it down here, wear it up a little higher and tight, and that'll give you the most accurate reading. There's a little pink button on the side here, and you can press that and it'll show you heart rate as you go. So that's probably the easiest thing. You can download the Fitbit app if you want, you don't have to though. Okay. Crap, where'd I get this one from? There. Is that right? Is that one go to Sarah? Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's heart rate monitors. The next thing I'll show you is blood pressure. This is gonna be challenging for me to show you because I don't have someone to measure, but we'll do the best we can, okay? So again, you're not gonna be doing blood pressure on yourself, you'll be doing it on someone else. First thing you wanna do with your stethoscope, put it in your ears, click on, just tap on this, make sure you can hear something, okay? I checked all of these before I sent them, but just do it just in case, okay? If you don't hear anything when you tap on this, then you're gonna need to twist this to make it tighter. Maybe it got loose when we shipped it, okay? So make sure your stethoscope's working. Next thing I'm gonna do is take the cuff and notice that there is a spot here that says artery. I think it says that on all of them. Again, I have several different models here. And that's gonna go on the anterior side here, okay? So again, I want this to be as tight as I can get it on my subject. I mean, you don't have to cut off their circulation, but like pretty tight was a good idea. It's hard to do it on yourself, I'll say that. Okay, this extra flap, make sure it's out of your way because you're gonna wanna read what's on here, okay? So again, imagine that mine was tighter because I didn't do it on myself, and I can read my, the deal here, okay? So next thing I'm gonna do, put these in my ears. I'm not gonna do that in real life. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna twist it clockwise until I can't twist it anymore. Okay, then I'm going to make sure my subject has their arm rested on the table. They're in a relaxed position, okay? And I'm gonna pump it up to, for the average person, I'd say 200. Okay, so I'm gonna pump it up to 200, and then I'm slowly gonna let the air out. So I'm slowly going to twist my little nozzle counterclockwise, okay? And while I'm doing this, I have my stethoscope here. so that I can listen, okay? And so I'm gonna listen and watch for the first click, and the first, it also like you'll hear your heart, but then you'll also see it like click on the nozzle here. And so that first clicking is systolic pressure, and then that clicking will eventually go away, and that's diastolic pressure, okay? And as soon as I see those numbers, I say them out loud. So I say 118 over 62 or whatever, okay? The other thing that is hard for newbies is once you get that reading, let all that air back out, because you're like killing their arm if you don't, okay? So as soon as you get the reading, let all the air out so that they're like not losing circulation in their arms, okay? Practice this a lot, okay? This is a very important skill that I want you to have, as a lot of you are pre-health professionals. Even in the fitness industry, it's important for us to know how to measure blood pressure, okay? Those are my major tricks. Again, this is a skill that I would really love to teach in person, but we can't. So do let me know if you're having trouble with this when you're practicing on whoever you practice on, okay? Now, when we do blood pressure when someone is exercising, so one of the activities that you'll do in this lab is a wall sit, okay? So you're gonna have your partner or your subject or whoever do a wall sit, and then you're gonna measure their blood pressure before, and then like within, and then immediately after. Okay, so what you're gonna wanna do is leave the cuff on, let all the air out, right? While they're doing the exercise, you can just leave that cuff on, okay? The other thing, and maybe I'll see if I can make a separate video so that I can demo to you exactly what I mean by this, but you wanna like support their arm while they're doing it. So yeah, I'll do a demo. Maybe tonight I'll have my husband, I'll bring one of the cuffs home and show you what I mean by that. But basically you want to support their arm so that they're not contracting their arm while you're trying to take the blood pressure, okay? So that is blood pressure. Again, for the aerobic exercise, if you're having them do it on a bike, like a stationary bike, you can leave the cuff on them in that scenario. If you're having them like walk or run, then you're gonna have to put it on when they get back. And again, speed is important. So getting that data right away is super important. So make sure you're practicing those skills prior to doing that lab, prior to recording that data, okay? So that's blood pressure. Two last things I want to show you is the oxygen saturation deal. Super easy to use, but I'll show you that anyway. I'll put these back before I forget who gets this one. Again, once you're done with all this stuff, if you can like sanitize it, wipe it down with, if you have Clorox wipes or whatever, especially like the little ear pieces, if you can get those clean, that'd be great. Okay. There. Okay. Oxygen saturation is like one of the last activities in the pulmonary lab. These things are super easy to use. Okay, so just press the on button, you'll get this, and it says finger out. All I do is stick my finger in here and wait for it to read. It'll give you heart rate too, so if you need if you need heart rate as well, you can get that from here. I will tell you this heart rate is not as accurate as like using your any of those other heart rate monitors I gave you. All right, so on this one it says oxygen saturation 96%, heart rate or beats per minute 69. Okay, so again, you'll have that for, I think it's like a couple different scenarios within the pulmonary lab. So again, super easy to use. Then once you take your finger out, you can, it'll shut off automatically. Okay. And then the last thing, or you can press the little button and it'll shut off too. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is hand grip. And this is for the Muscular lab. Again, I think I am sending 4 hand grip dynamometers out. And basically what we want to do with these is look at wrist position, and that'll be important for us in understanding the length tension relationship, which is something that we'll talk about in our lectures, right? So with the hand grip dynamometer, I want to start in a neutral position. So again, my wrist is just kind of like straightforward, and I'm going to squeeze as hard as I can, get that reading. Okay. So there's like, again, I have a couple different types of dynamometers. You'll figure it out, but record everything in kilograms if possible. Okay. So this one shows us both. I have two digital ones. I don't know off the top of my head if those record in kilograms or pounds, but I'll make sure I find that out as we get closer to that lab. Okay, so that's my neutral grip position. From the flexed grip position, I can do this one standing. So again, flex that wrist as much as you can, record the data there. And then for the extended wrist position, again, I kind of flip my wrist back, squeeze as hard as I can, and then record that information there. Okay. So again, those are the different wrist positions for the hand grip stuff. I think that's pretty much everything that's not super self-explanatory for the lab equipment. I tried to label some things that you might need, such as the caffeine pills. So those are labeled. Again, I gave you like 3 or 4 caffeine pills. You can decide how much you want to take of those. Depending on your tolerance and things like that. Not everybody responded to me when I asked how much caffeine you like normally drink. So again, again, for the caffeine, 1 cup of coffee is equivalent to 100 milligrams approximately. So take what you feel comfortable with. You know, preferably take at least 100 or 200 milligrams, but you want to be, you know, caffeine free when you start taking those as well. And we'll talk in more detail about what that lab entails on our first day of class. So that information will be a little bit more detailed as we get closer. I think that's pretty much it. Certainly reach out if you do have questions on the labs, and watch the Zoom sessions as we go through this class as well to get more information on how to complete those, right? Have a great day. And like I said, I'll try to do just a little addendum to this so you can see what I mean by supporting their arm when we do that blood pressure with activity, right? Okay.